Of the over 328 million people in the United States, 45 million are expected to develop Alzheimer's disease during their lifetime. Healthcare is currently undergoing a transformation from 20th century medicine to 21st century medicine. 20th century medicine relies on small data sets for traditional diagnoses, which do not answer the question of why the illness is present. This one-size-fits-all approach has been thus far unsuccessful in treating chronic illnesses such as Alzheimer's disease. This brings us to the transition to 21st century medicine, which uses large data sets for diagnoses and helps identify changes in the network of the human body that characterize chronic illness. We can reveal the why for each individual and address the cause of each condition in a comprehensive, personalized, and pragmatic way. This transition combines the best of Western medicine and Eastern medicine practices. Using the 21st century approach, we have found that treating Alzheimer's is analogous to repairing a roof with 36 holes. Treating the disease requires addressing many aspects of the body at one time, as you would when repairing holes in a roof. The more holes you cover, the more success you will have at fixing the problem. Current pharmacological approach is focused on developing a drug to combat Alzheimer's. If we were to create a single drug specific to Alzheimer's, it would have to perform so many different functions that it would be unlike any drug ever developed. While the single pill approach may not be a viable option, by knowing the characteristics of the disease, we can address the underlying problem and patch 36 factors, or holes as we referred to them in our earlier analogy. This approach is the cornerstone of the Bredesen Protocol. To understand the problem of Alzheimer's and why neurons in the brain degenerate, we need to look at it from a cellular level. Higher organisms rely on 4 developmental processes: proliferation, differentiation, migration, and integration. We also rely on these processes for the repair and regeneration of cells and neurons. This cyclic routine creates a lifelong need for balance among these processes. When this balance is disturbed, it can result in the development of diseases, such as cancer or Alzheimer's. In cancer's case, an imbalance towards an increase in the proliferation and survival against programmed cell death leads to the development spread of cancer cells in the body. On the other hand, Alzheimer's occurs when there is an imbalance in the migration and integration processes that are critically involved in plasticity, a term that refers to changes in the brain, such as the making and breaking of connections between neurons. These connections are referred to as synapses. The amplification of Alzheimer's occurs at the molecular species level in the form of prionic loops, which are created by the interaction of various molecules with amyloid precursor protein, or APP. Genetic and biochemical studies have revealed that APP is central to Alzheimer's disease. APP acts as a mediator in the formation of synaptic connections and in synaptic organization. In Alzheimer's, there is an imbalance among these 2 factors, which results in greater synaptoclastic activity than synaptoblastic activity. This is to say, there is more breakdown occurring in a synapse through neural retraction and synaptic reorganization than there is formation, which results in an overall degeneration within the synapses. We have discovered that if you cleave APP, we can recognize the 4 peptides that mediate neurite retraction, caspase activation, and synaptic reorganization. As we mentioned before, these processes are associated with Alzheimer's disease and can result in degeneration within the synapses. If APP is cleaved alternatively, we can identify the 2 peptides that mediate the opposite effects, which are neurite extension, the inhibition of apoptosis, which is a form of programmed cell death, and synaptic maintenance. By recognizing these peptides, we can identify all of the risk factors that contribute to Alzheimer's and our roof with 36 holes analogy, whether they be hormonal, traumatic, metabolic, or some other form of abnormality. Interacting with and covering many of the factors we have identified thus far leads to unprecedented results. For example, over the course of 2 years, A 71-year-old participant of the Bredesen Protocol has increased his verbal learning test score from less than the 5th percentile to greater than the 80th percentile. His auditory delay memory score also saw significant improvement. It went from less than the 15th percentile to greater than the 75th percentile, and the list goes on. The combination of large data sets, genetic data, the underlying biochemistry, and the concept of 21st century health has contributed to the formation of the Bredesen Protocol, the first proven method to reverse the effects of early Alzheimer's disease.